Have you ever wondered what the immigration process is like? If you have and you want to know some of the complications of it, then this video might be for you. Hey, my name is Aaron Kuczynski. I'm a pastor for a Hispanic church that I'm planting and leading, and this is my trip to Seattle. So this trip did not start out so great. If you're going to stick around in this video, you're going to see that sometimes when God asks you to do some things, there's a lot of complications and things that might step in the way. But what I do is I serve our Hispanic community here in Spokane, Washington. And so today we're helping one of my congregation members with his court hearing. And this one was something that I took very seriously. I had to pray a lot about it because we are having some of the worst, I won't say worst circumstances, but we are at the worst time of the year to drive from Spokane, Washington to Seattle, Washington. It is the middle of January. Usually we have a lot of snow. The weather's really bad. I've got my own complications with my own personal vehicle. I don't have any money. So this is something that definitely comes at a cost, but that's kind of what you sign up for when you become a pastor or somebody who cares about other people's lives for the sake of the gospel and trying to lead them to a healthy relationship with Jesus. So this trip actually started off the day before with me needing to borrow my sister's car. She graciously offered that, and when she did, she told me that the windshield wiper fluid wasn't working. And this becomes important because God's in every step of the details. So I end up going to the auto parts store, and I pick up a piece to kind of fix a cut that's in the windshield wiper fluid line so I can drive in the winter. And while I was there, a car pulled up with this guy. He's probably around my age, mid-30s, late 30s, and he's got 2 kids. And I don't know anything about vehicles, so me even doing this fix for my sister-in-law is kind of even out of my comfort zone. I just believe it needed to happen. So this guy pulls up and he's like, "Hey man, I hear some banging underneath my car. Can you check it out? Maybe it's like a flap of some kind. It's just hitting the ground when I drive." And immediately I recognized like something that sounded similar to a car that I used to own, where it's a serious issue and he should not be driving this car. Something going on with the axle of the vehicle, and it's just banging really loudly as he spins the wheels. So I ended up offering him a ride to take him back home, and I saw a Bible in his front seat, so I knew he was a Christian. So that's kind of something we do, whenever God sends you somewhere at any point in the day. This is at like 10 at night, granted, and I have to leave at 3 in the morning so that I can go from Seattle and back to Spokane in one day. So I'm going to leave at 3 a.m. This is at like 9:30 at night. And I ended up giving this guy a ride uptown, like 20 minutes out of my way, and it was good. Like his name was Khan. He's a Ukrainian guy, and I just blessed him in the name of Jesus. We got to talk about our faith a little bit, and that was really encouraging for me to see that I was kind of able to be just a ministering spirit to him that night. So here we are, and the next day, wake up at 3 in the morning. So I'm kind of getting ready, and I want to be presentable, right? Because I'm about to head into court. And the reality is, with my friend Mauricio's circumstances, we know in this kind of political climate, he could be detained and sent away to his home country at any moment. So I want to show up for him and just be someone there to support him, to give the judge a reason to believe that this man is doing his best and trying to build a life and a community here in the United States and doing things the right way. So, just getting ready. My wife is amazing, and she packed these awesome snacks for me. I'm a big snack guy. She made some amazing pound cake. Thank you if you're listening to this. My love. And so I headed out, and it was freezing, guys, and there was one big problem. Not only am I leaving super early, I'm super tired, but I was sick. Like right when I woke up, guys, I felt so sick to my stomach, and I was having issues, and I don't want to get into details, but I'm like, oh great, like I'm gonna have to make this 6-hour drive, and I'm not feeling good. But like again, this all started with me praying and asking God, should I really be involved in this process? And the answer was, I believe, yes. So you just go, even though you're facing these things. So I head out, go pick up Mauricio, our friend Inelda, and they're so sweet guys. I actually wasn't planning on taking Inelda, but the Hispanic community is just one big family, and they all want to be together and want to help each other and want to be there for each other. And this is a really heavy time in Mauricio's heart. So we head out, and guys, there's moments where I could barely see 5 feet in front of my vehicle. And I thank God that it wasn't icy, it wasn't snowy. That was a miracle in itself this time of the year for where we're going. But this fog was intense. So I'm just dead focused on the road. We're driving. I saw an elk on the side of the highway. It could be very dangerous. But God protected us. We pulled up to Seattle. Got there after a really long drive, pretty exhausted, and we got there really early. His appointment was at 11:30 in the morning, and we got there at 8:30. So we actually got to go down to the pier, and these guys have never been able to go out and about. If you're an immigrant here, you know this. You're really kind of scraping by, making ends meet, just trying to survive and pay rent and get food for your family. So these guys don't have fun. So I'm I'm like their spiritual father. I want to take care of these guys. I love them and they're family to me. So I take them down to the pier. We have some good laughs. I get to see the ocean. We take some pictures, as you can see here. And this is just a good experience for them. But unfortunately, if you guys know Seattle, there's no restrooms along the boardwalk. So that long trip, we forgot. We did not use the restrooms, and we got to book it to the courthouse where the nearest restroom is. So we get in there, and immediately the security guy does a fit check on me, and he's like, "Bro, why are you dressed like this?" You're basically saying, "Dude, what you look like is questionable." I'm like, "Great, man. If only you knew, man. I live in poverty." Stop making fun of me. I do my best. But I get it. And it was fun. And immediately we see this picture of Donald Trump, and on the other side, J.D. Vance. And, I'm a conservative guy, and I'm not going to say which way I vote one or another, but it was just a little ominous seeing this dead stare from Donald Trump. And I can't imagine what immigrants who really don't know our country think when they see this very, very serious, the fear of Trump strikes your heart kind of a thing. But I'm keeping Mauricio calm, positive. He doesn't have an attorney, and that's a really complicated aspect to being an immigrant, is especially here in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of the immigrant attorneys will take somebody's money as a retainer and just abandon them. And that's happened to friends of Mauricio. I think that may have even happened to him in the past. So we show up, and this is a continuation order where he had 9 months to get an attorney, and he was not able to secure one, either because it was too expensive or the ones he could afford had bad reputations of taking advantage of immigrants. So that's another reason why I was there, is to show that this guy is trying to do his best, even though he doesn't have an attorney. And let me just give you a little backstory. Mauricio's story, he came to the United States through Nicaragua and up into Mexico. And what happened is a few years ago, he just crossed the Mexican border legally. And what that looked like for him was a little bit different. So the normal process is you apply for a visa of some kind or asylum, and then you would come to the border. But in Mauricio's case, he literally just walked up to the border and said, "I want to come to the United States." And they processed him. They look at his background, do prints and all this stuff. And they gave him documents, legal documents, to come into the country from Mexico into the United States to stay here. And so it was a very interesting circumstance. I would say a very different circumstance than normal, because that doesn't usually just happen. But in his case, they let him. And so when he came in, he was able to get a social security number. He's able to get work. And the issue is, the court now is kind of looking back at that time, and we were in the courthouse, and the judge said, "Man, you came into the country wrong. You actually should have applied for these formal applications before you even came to the border, before they gave you documents to be in the United States. And so that's why we are convicting you of being here illegally, even though he has some documents." But they've been really gracious to him because they understand it was a very weird circumstance, different administration. And so this judge was really gracious. We have had the misfortune of Mauricio being detained by immigration right there and just taken to a deportation station and let out of the country. But this judge said, Mauricio, I'm going to give you another 4 months to find an attorney. And from there, we are going to ask you to seek asylum through one of our partner countries in South America, either Ecuador, Guatemala, or Honduras. He's from Nicaragua. So he actually is going to be ordered to go back to one of these South American countries where he has no connections or anything like that, and have to be there for anywhere between I think 6 months is kind of the minimum for an asylum application. And then he's got to work. We're getting an attorney there to do these papers. And he could be there anywhere up to 3 years if that's the way he wants to go to do things legally. So, but he thanked the judge, and it was just a very sober time because it's kind of the beginning of the end in a lot of ways, is what it looks like. But we serve a God of miracles. And, you know, we don't know God's plan for Mauricio's life. What I told Mauricio is whatever we find that comes our way is in God's hands, whether we're here in America or not. And when we get clarity or clarification on our circumstances, like today didn't go the way we were hoping, where he'd just get a long extension, again, and that's just God's direction. And so maybe we'll find out that God has a mission plan in South America that Mauricio didn't plan for. But the circumstances for him are very tough because his wife has a medical disorder where she has very heavy, like acid that's scarring her vocal cords, and doctors anticipate that that's going to turn into cancer. So he's been working to try to send his family money back home and get his wife the medical attention she needs so that this doesn't turn into cancer, which, again, this is what the doctors are telling him will probably happen. And so the other option is if he gets a family asylum opportunity, then he can bring his wife here and get some medical care for her, maybe a little bit easier, and also have one more income. It would just be really nice. So we're running into an issue now, and that is over the last 9 months up till today, Mauricio hasn't been able to find an attorney, and we need to find an attorney. I have access to good attorneys, but they usually charge anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 just for the retainer fee, and that's not including the actual work that they'll do, that they'll charge for. And these are good attorneys. So on top of that, Mauricio also is having a hard time finding work because he doesn't speak a lot of English, and where we're at in the state of Washington, there's not a lot of jobs that will hire you if you don't speak English. So just a lot of complications. But anyway, we ended up after court. I heard Mauricio talk about he saw on the internet this waterfall. So again, like a good friend and family member, I wanted to see them smile. So we took a little bit of a detour and we went and saw this waterfall. Our day was kind of full of side missions, and they just loved this. I watched Anelda's face just light up, seeing something so beautiful in nature. And then we saw these elk on the way back from another side quest. Some of you guys know that we're helping another immigrant family in our church. The husband was deported, and so we actually found a great deal on Starlink where we got it like less than half price over by Seattle. So we picked that up, and yeah, just gorgeous scenery. And we were so thankful to God. Got to tell the guy about Jesus and kind of the mission that we're doing for this family in Honduras. So just more opportunity to spread hope and just the gospel in little ways through the name of Jesus. And of course, like showing people we actually care about other people in our lives. I think that's pretty essential for being a Christian. That's what Jesus does. He cares about people. So we ended up going home, and man, it was a long drive. And I was exhausted because, remember, I'm waking up at 3 a.m. And the reality is this was a very long day. So thank God for Mauricio being able to drive a few hours for me, and got home, and that was my day. So thanks for following my journey. And for those of you who have made it this far, I really appreciate you, because the truth of the matter is we have more support from people on TikTok that are giving to our ministry and the work that we are doing than people locally. And that's been really difficult. But thank you, and I hope this can bless you guys, encourage you guys to go and do things for Jesus. Just pray and serve and listen to him and go where he goes, listen to his voice, and you're going to make a big impact on people's lives and encourage them to surrender their lives to Christ. So thank you guys. Bye. I'm really happy to help you navigate that. No stinking way. Justin just sent me he just sent me a galaxy, guys. Justin, save your money for Justin. Muchas gracias, mi hermano, mi primo. Save tu dinero, tu galaxy por aquí, por when you come. Okay? I love you, brother. Thank you. That was very kind of you. But I would rather you save your money for your family and when you come visit, because we do want you to come back and visit.